But there's this group, right? Political page and social media called Now This.
Yeah.
They're always posting they just rip on the right all the time. That's all they're about, right?
Yep.
But they posted this video about the devastating effect that Trump is having on children right now. Couple things I think that you should notice in this video. So if it cuts out, stick around. Go to the Generation Y Conservative page because we'll rebroadcast.
And it's like scary because many times
Good morning, everybody.
Good
We want to hear about you. We want to hear about how the school year is going.
my mom came as a refugee, and then it's like America was like, oh no, you can't come into the United States. She would probably die. Trump is saying that he's trying to get rid of those bad immigrants. What he's doing with taking away DACA is actually taking those dreams of those good immigrants and they're telling you, oh, this country is free, this country is a country of opportunities, but it's making it so hard for you to have opportunities.
Them describing how they're personally affected because kids feel like there's a direct impact between what's going on politically and their own lives in a very intense way.
Okay, so a couple things I want to point out about this video. Now, on my screen right now, as you were watching this, you probably couldn't see it, but right on the podium in the background is a little yellow sign. I encourage you to go back and watch this. Guess who's on that? Did you see?
I did not
Che Guevara.
Oh, jeez.
In a public school. Okay, a communist leader that was responsible for the deaths of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people in Cuba, right? Worked with Fidel Castro. Okay, was part of this rebellion in Cuba. Che, which you see liberals wearing on their shirts all the time, is like a hero to the left. I would argue they don't know anything about him.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, of course.
Because he was a fascist leader. Okay, literally,
but they're anti-fascists.
Yeah, literally cut a hole in the wall of his office to view the courtyard below where they had executions because he enjoyed watching people being executed so much.
Stand-up
Fantastic guy, right? There's that. Okay.
Yeah.
First, and I mentioned to this as we were setting up the video before the podcast started and everything. It starts off with a couple kids speaking right away, and then the teachers are sitting there and they say, "Okay, kids, how's the school year going so far? What do we have going on?" Boom, right into Trump and how it's devastating kids.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we're missing something here.
Right.
I think there was something else maybe going on before that. Maybe a question directly was asked about Trump.
Sure.
Because for these kids to all just answer the school year question in regards to Trump being devastating.
Yeah.
Seems a little off to me. First of all, I don't want to keep on hogging things, so go ahead. What do you have to say about the video?
I mean, it's just... I just think about when I was in school at this age.
Yeah.
And, like, politics... I wasn't even thinking about this kind of stuff.
No.
You know? What is going on where now kids are just trying to be indoctrinated into this way of thinking.
Yep.
You know? Right out of the gate. You know, and it also, I'm sure, has a lot to do with that, like, every, kids in middle school and high school, they look up to celebrities and musicians, and that's just like, that's their second job. Celebrities is to just be political and everything. I mean, I can't, like you asked times why I'm not active on Twitter. I just can't even deal with Twitter. I mean, I used to go on Twitter and see oh, what's the next Marvel movie coming out, or what's this actor up to, with what they're working on. Now it's oh God, just political thing after political thing. So they're just getting brainwashed at such a young age, and they're being fed, just spoon-fed one side of the story.
And that's actually where I wanted to go with this. Listen, I want to talk directly to you for a second, okay?
Children of America.
Yeah. No, it's parents.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Parents and teachers and everyone else. Trump is not having a direct devastating effect on these children, okay? Because honestly, not much has changed. He hasn't actually gotten that much accomplished. I'm sorry for the right, the people on the right who think that he's doing like miracles left and right and everything. He got Gorsuch in. Congratulations. He's pushing forward the tax plan. It's not exactly helping people. We talked about this last week. It's helping out the corporations, which the left is going nuts about, but corporations are made of people.
Yep.
They employ people. That tax cut for the corporate tax rate is encouraging job growth here back in America, right? So hiring more people, giving more money back. In the end, honestly, reducing the cost of goods and services, right? So there's that. And then also, what was the big one just now? Well, net neutrality was a big thing today, which we'll probably talk about next week when more details come out. But it's not Trump that's having a devastating effect on children. As a matter of fact, Trump has deported, if we're talking about immigration, less people than Obama did. Because if you're actually talking about immigration, Obama deported more illegal immigrants, criminals out of our country than any president before him, okay? So it's not Trump that's having a devastating effect on children. It's actually you as the parent or as the adult in the lives of these children that's having a devastating effect on the children because of your portrayal of the devastating effects that Trump is having on the children. So you are taking this approach of embedding or indoctrinating in these children's minds that their lives are going to be devastated, that tomorrow is an uncertainty for these kids because of Trump being president. But the reality of this situation is that not much changes with presidencies, okay? You may dislike this guy because he's a rude character. He is a character, and that's what he is. He's a reality TV show guy. He's a business person, okay? He plays to the camera. He plays to the audience. That's exactly why people love him and why people hate him. But not much changes in society between presidents, okay? The right got extremely upset when Obama was in office for different reasons too. But in the end, not much happened.
Yeah.
Okay, certainly there were policies that hurt us. Obamacare, where premiums are rising like by 500% or something like that.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So things like that will actually hurt us. But to have these children believe that they are on the verge of deportation because of their background and everything is asinine. As a matter of fact, Trump is advocating for like kind of sweeping legislation to allow people that are already here to somehow make it stay that they can stay, you know? It's the adults in these children's lives that are putting undue stress on the shoulders of these children whose brains are developing still and making them into anxious, nervous wrecks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, we have enough psychological symptoms in our society as it is anyway. Why are you putting undue stress on kids as it is? Allow them to go through life and be children before they have to be hit with the reality of being an adult.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. It's not Trump that's having the devastating effects. It's you as the adult that's having devastating effects on these children in our society. You are the problem right now.
But Chris, if we don't start them early, how are we going to get them to rock the boat as soon as they turn 18?
Well, let's be honest. You can either rock the vote at 18 or when you're dead.
Yeah.
The dead have more voting power than most people nowadays.
Yep.
All right. So what do we got here? Okay, great story here. This is a kind of an inspirational story. And again, we're actually going to get back into the same topic we were just talking about in regards to this as well. I felt that this kind of tied in directly. The world fell in love this past week with a bullied schoolboy called, his name is Keaton Jones, whose video went viral when his mom, Kimberly Jones, posted it on Facebook. So let's take a look at this guy's clip.
Curiosity, why do they bully? What's the point of it? Why do you find joy in taking innocent people and finding a way to be mean to them? It's not okay.
What do they say to you?
They make fun of my nose. They call me ugly. They say I have no friends.
What'd they do to you at lunch?
Put milk on me and put a hand down my clothes. Threw bread at me.
Is it just you?
Yep.
Or is it other kids too that feel that way?
Say it's other kids too.
How's that make you feel?
I don't like that they do it to me, and I for sure don't like that they do it to other people, because not okay. People that are different don't need to be criticized about it. Because it's not their fault. But if you are made fun of, just don't let it bother you. Just stay strong, I guess. It's hard. But it'll probably get better one day.
Okay, go ahead. Well, I want you to take the reins initially on this one.
That's heartbreaking to listen to. You know that he's being treated that way in school, and I've always kind of like thought about like, man, what can I do as a parent to make sure that my kids aren't bullies? You know, because it's just, I feel like a lot of that has to do with parenting. You know, so it's hard to hear. You know, such a sincere proclamation of what this kid's day-to-day life in school is like. You know?
Apparently he asked to be videoed on this by his mom. If you didn't know that, it kind of comes off as very weird from the mom's angle to be filming it. I know that there's a lot of theories out there right now.
There's a bunch of stuff going on that I can kind of like explain briefly. But one thing you have to remember, we were talking about this before too, is that whatever's going on with the parents, like it doesn't change what's happening to the kid,
right?
You know. So
okay, so well, let's talk. Like I said, I kind of feel like, first of all, Keaton, you're a hero to people that are being bullied out there. Because putting yourself out there in such a viral way is sure to bring actually probably more pressure on you, right? You have more support than ever before, but at the same time, the people that you've just spotlighted, those people in your life that are harming you, right?
Yep.
So it could work for you or against you, you know? But at least you know that the support system is there, okay, from the majority of America, right?
Oh, he's winning the internet. Have you heard about some of this stuff? Captain America has invited him to the Avengers premiere.
Yep.
Dana White has invited him to the UFC headquarters and kind of meet everybody, and all these different celebrities reaching out. Haley Steinfeld invited him to be her date to the Pitch Perfect 3 premiere, which...
Oh, nice.
Jump on that, buddy. Jump on that.
Yeah.
If you're going to choose one, forget Captain America. Pitch Perfect all the way.
Sorry, Chris.
But yeah, he's getting a lot of support.
Yeah, absolutely.
There, you know?
So how does this tie into the last subject? Well, again, this is the culture that we're living in, right? For the past couple of years, and this was going on when I was on the school board, so 5 years now, okay? Bullying has been a spotlighted issue.
Yep.
Bullying has always happened. It's always been around. There's always bullies, no matter what, right? Unfortunately, there's more avenues for bullying now, though.
Oh, yeah.
More than ever before. Again, I've mentioned this before. Watch the movie Disconnect. If you're a parent of any kid before they reach the teenage years, or if you have kids that are teenagers right now, or if you have grandkids, you should watch this movie Disconnect. Okay, it's a worthwhile movie based on the dangerous powers of the internet, and specifically in regards to bullying, what can happen to kids that are bullied on the internet. Okay.
Yeah.
That being said, it's been a spotlight issue, and it's mainly been the torch that's been carried by the left as one of the banners that they bring forward, right? But here's the thing. Again, this goes back into the culture of politics that we've been talking about for months now, right? The left was always about love and tolerance, anti-hate and everything, right? But as soon as Donald Trump gets into office, F the Trump supporters, he's a bully. Well, he is a bully. First of all, I admitted that on Facebook in this post. Trump is a bully. Okay? He is a character and he is a bully. What's wrong on the left is also wrong on the right.
Yeah.
Keaton, this whole issue is not a political issue, but it does feed into a bigger narrative. And it's a national narrative.
Yeah.
Right? We can't sit here as citizens of this country and blast against each other across the aisle, calling each other bullies, while also being bullies to those people. We joke around a lot on the podcast, right, about people, but I don't feel like we're ever being bullies.
Yeah.
Right? I don't feel like we cross that line. We have fun with it. We joke about it. As a matter of fact, one of my friends invited my wife out to dinner, and up in where she's from, and he let us know, not at that dinner, in a private message, that he's coming out as a trans woman. Okay, so we have a friend that's doing that, and he was very concerned, based on our political and religious beliefs, that we would abandon him as a friend.
Yep.
Well, he's still he, you know, so he hasn't undergone that transition yet. And the fact that we had a conversation, we both had our own separate conversations with him, saying, listen, my wife said, it's going to take a lot more than that to lose us as a friend. And I said, I would be a pretty crappy friend if that's what it was that disconnected us, right? And that's the way civil discourse goes. That's how you have to approach it. People are people. Again, I don't care what you do. With I disagree with what he's doing, but that's his choice. You know what I mean? It's not affecting me. It's going to affect how I feel about his personal choices. But listen, I have video games to talk to him about, movies, technology, and podcasts. I have plenty of other stuff that we could focus on. The fact of the matter is, you can't sit and stand against bullying. If you have the mentality right now, if your banner issue is being anti-bullying, while calling Trump people idiots, hateful bigots, sexist, misogynists, fascists, xenophobes, calling them, calling Trump all different types of names, calling Republicans, calling any of their supporters. If your daily news feed on your Facebook account is you railing against people and showing hatred and bullying of those people, you're part of the problem.
Yeah, of course.
You can't say that you're anti-bullying while bullying other people. There's a big difference between joking around and spotlighting the flaws in someone's argument against you and bullying. Bullying is demeaning someone and taking them down because you disagree with their opinion and just treading all over them. Okay? So there's a disconnect in America right now. There is no way that we need some self-reflection in this country. Okay? And that is, if you're going to take a look at Keaton here, and I think that you should, and say that this kid should not be bullied. I think we can all agree on that. Okay? But if you're wondering where this bullying atmosphere is coming from, the fact that when someone wins who you disagree with and has a different opinion leads you to go out into the streets and protest and march and riot and loot and cause destruction and hurt other people physically, that is promoting bullying. So take some time to self-reflect on maybe the culture that you are providing to the American people, and what you're showcasing out there is actually showing some of these kids that are coming up where their brains are still developing in these prepubescent stages. You're showing as an adult that it's okay to do these types of things. You are part of the problem. We have a society of adults that are still children. And that's where these problems are coming from.
I couldn't say it better.
Okay, all right.
I mean, you didn't leave much to add on to that. But I mean, that literally is exactly what I've thought about a lot of the social justice warrior mentality. It's like children. It's like adult
throwing
children.
Tantrums. Yep. All right, so you kind of went over this, but at one point this week, a friend of mine pointed out in a conversation that on Instagram between someone claiming to be Kimberly Jones and an MMA fighter, which was who?
Joe Schilling.
Joe Schilling, okay. Yeah. That he was indicated he wanted to fly them out to a Bellator event, introduce the family to fighters, but then the mom said, no thanks, just share my GoFundMe, indicating that this woman was more interested in the money, right? Now, that exact article that he posted has since been updated twice now. The first one being they said apparently Kimberly Jones is not the owner of the verified Instagram account, and Joe Schilling was communicating with an alleged fake profile.
Yep.
It was then updated again at that was at 3 o'clock on the 11th. At 6 o'clock on the 11th, it seems as though no one can verify the authenticity of the alleged Instagram account belonging to Kimberly Jones. The previous Instagram account below has been wiped of its profile picture, and a Wayback Machine search showed that it once belonged to a teenager who may be playing an Instagram hoax and selling verified Instagram accounts. So we don't really know. At one point in time, it was said that the GoFundMe account was actually set up to help with the college fund for this kid, which would be great.
Yeah,
That's a worthwhile cause. Kind of going along those same lines. At the end of his video, he said, "Apparently, I think it's supposed to get better."
Yep.
Right. It does. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's a life lesson for you, though. Okay. It will get better for you as an adult in regards to this bullying. But there's always going to be bullies in your life, okay? I've ended up with bullies as bosses.
Yep.
Okay? It created such a toxic environment that I would be emotionally distraught when I went home from work, okay? Like just mentally exhausted to the point from this person breathing down my neck in such horrible ways that I was physically exhausted from it. Okay. And the good news is she just got fired. So that was, it was good. Just recently. I found that out. And cheers to that. Because she does not deserve to be where she was as a president of the company.
Right.
But you're always going to run into bullies in your life. It gets better in the sense that as time goes on, you are not confined to an environment like a school system where you have to bear the brunt of this kind of torturous mentality that people put onto you when you get out into the real world. Okay, you have the ability to push them off, get out of the situation, walk away, whereas in school
You're stuck.
you're stuck there.
Yep.
Right. Plus there's a maturity that comes along with it. In most cases.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much with the left anymore, but there is a maturity that comes along with becoming an adult.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, just for you, Keaton, you're trading off things becoming an adult, right? You may be getting rid of bullying, but entering the real world has its own issues altogether too.
Yeah.
Okay, it's no longer the free ride that you were getting from mom and dad either, and you're kind of thrown out naked into the cold.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it gets tough, right? But the fact of the matter is that you're going to encounter bullies all your life, and at times there's some self-reflection of those people too.
Yep.
Did you bully anyone in school?
I wouldn't say I was a bully. I'm
Yeah.
sure I had my moments with certain people or anything like that, which of course I'm not saying is right at all.
Right.
But that's probably more. I also was bullied.
Okay, that's the
So
next question.
I think
yeah.
that there's this I think that every school has kids who are like known bullies, and then you have someone who might have done something or said something that was out of character, and then you have victims,
right.
and then everyone in between. So I don't.
And let's face it,
Yeah.
the people that are bullies hate themselves more than they hate the people that they're bullying.
Yep.
I mean, that's why they are the way they are, right? I mean, bullies take advantage of people's shortcomings because they're so self-aware of their own that they want to have the first strike in a conversation before their shortcomings can be identified.
I think there's also the possibility or the case where bullies probably have not great home lives.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they could be bullied by their family, by their parents, abused, mistreated, looked down upon, and then they kind of like at school, that's where they feel like, okay, this is where I can be the alpha,
Right, yeah.
And so it's, instead of just villainizing everybody, we should also kind of like try and diagnose the problem, and where it is. And
I don't want to just throw you under the bus with those questions. I'll answer them myself.
Yeah.
I felt, number one, I was a floater.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I got along with the jocks, I got along with the geeks.
Yeah, so was I.
I kind of got along with everyone. I was more of a chameleon.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, and you know, a lot of those people very much dislike me now because of my political views. Actually, I have had some really good conversations with people that I thought were so far left from high school that they haven't talked to me for a very long time, including just completely cold shouldering me at like the class reunion and stuff. That I ran into the one at a grocery store, and she said to me, you know, I disagree with your opinions, but I think it's really cool that you're able to express yourself so eloquently, I guess is the word, and in an educated manner, and showcase how you feel. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm being a jerk. I feel like I'm, you know, we have fun with it. You know, we're trying to have fun.
Yep.
So was I bullied? I was bullied in elementary school. You know, I remember one kid down the street knocking me into, like, on the school bus down in between the seats and everything. And I was picked on here and there. Which reminds me of actually a really funny story. So do you remember Trapper Keepers?
Of course. Yeah.
That, like, serious 80s, 90s nostalgia. So I had a Trapper Keeper. Okay, it was a pretty funky, cool design on it. Obviously.
Funky, cool design.
I had my black jumper suit with the neon colors on it.
Neon. I was just about to say, you gotta have the neon.
All about that. And this was elementary school. I was sitting with my best friend at the time in the seat, and there was a kid on the bus who was 2 years older than us that was constantly picking on us and bullying us, right? So at one point in time, it was a day where this kid was relentless, right? So in elementary school, I told my friend, I was like, he had a bag, like one of those snack brown lunch bags, right, full of cookies, and I told him to smack the hell out of this kid with that, while I took the Trapper Keeper and did the same, right?
Yeah.
So he's sitting on the edge of the seat, and this kid just would unbearingly coming down on us with. I don't even know what the hell it was about at this point. Like I said, it's elementary school, right? And he's doing this. I took that Trapper Keeper, like serious, like wrestling style, with the armchair or the fold chairs, right?
Nice.
I went over the top. I went bam right on his head, and he just wrapped up those cookies and started going around the seat and started going like
Your
this.
other buddy? Yeah.
Beat the heck out of him. This kid left the bus crying, right?
Yeah.
And we got in trouble for it, but eventually, I don't think we actually got into too much trouble because they knew that this kid was a bully, right?
Yeah.
Completely left us alone.
Yeah.
It's that whole mentality of the courtyard thing in the prison, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so
Assault with a Trapper Keeper.
so yeah, I was bullied a little bit. It was in elementary school, chameleon through basically the rest of everything. In middle school and high school, I wasn't a bully, but I do regret comments that I made.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's kind of how
I mean, you look back and you're like, why?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's more along the lines of just trying to fit in. But when you're trying to fit in, and you can't tell a kid this, you know, you can't tell a kid, hey, listen, you know, I know you're trying to fit in, but you're going to really regret saying that later. I don't know. They don't get it at the time. They can't comprehend that.
Yep.
So, but that's Keaton. Obviously, Keaton, we support you. And we have a culture of bullying in the society all around that needs to stop.
One thing that just kind of dovetail on the whole GoFundMe thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, it came out later that that was like a fake account or whatever, and his mom had said that's not our account. If there's a GoFundMe in his name, then whatever is made from it, just donate it to any kind of like anti-bullying charity or
There you go.
whatever. Like,
yeah.